Hey, I am Ajit, and on this channel, I take interview of web development candidate to help other to prepare and grow. If you would like me to take your personal interview, feel free to fill out the form or email me directly. Link are in the description. Also, if you are interested in my personal web development note that I personally use and update weekly, you can buy or download them using the link below. Want them for free? Just give an interview, then I will share the full access to you. In these notes, you will get 500 plus questions of full stack developer with proper explanation and very accurate answer, which will help you to crack any interview. With 12-week proper front-end developer roadmap and company list. Also, I have attached DSA questions for front-end developer, how much DSA you will need if you are aiming for high package. These all things are in one single notes, and the best part is that I am updating these notes regularly, so you will always up to date.
Uh, my name is Manisha Saini. I have done my graduation from UIT Kurukshetra University in Computer Science in 2021. I have done my schooling from Government Girls Senior Secondary School, Narnor. And after graduation, I joined Accenture as a I joined Accenture, and in that I am total having 3.5 years of experience, and I have worked on 2 years for on the support project. After that, I got the opportunity to work on the front end to work as a front end developer. In that, I have used the reactjs for stack to work on that project, and my skills is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, reactjs, and DSA. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so what kind of project you have built in Accenture?
In Accenture, we have the project was already built. We have work on the kind of a support, kind of a, like we were solving the bugs there, and we were handling some small feature also, creating the error pop up, like whenever user is not selecting something from the form and going to the next page, then we have to show some pop up like you have to select like this. So we work on that also. Yeah.
Okay, so which feature you have worked recently?
Uh, yeah, actually, I have work only like creating one component for showing the pop-up on the window whenever user is not selecting some value from the on the form kind of page, and user is clicking on the next page, then we have to show some pop up to the user that you have to select this page, and I have created that pop up to show to the user. Like, you have to select some values also.
Okay, so can you please share your entire screen?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So now tell me, what is reconciliation in React?
uh, Reconciliation in React is uh, whenever we are updating something on the UI, then then some then like actually I don't know the
Okay, okay,
reconciliation.
okay, no problem. Okay, leave it. Okay. So what is the difference between virtual DOM and the real DOM?
Virtual DOM is in memory object, is a copy of the original DOM.
Okay, so how virtual DOM basically work in React? I just want to know that.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Actually, I know I forget.
Okay, no problem, Manisha. We will move to the next question. Okay. Do you know what is component?
Yeah, component is a it is small. Is it? Yeah, component is a function only in the reactors, but we are with a small component in our reactors. With the help of component, we will rebuild our whole UI, and component just a function. That function will return some JSX.
Okay, so what is JSX?
JSX is just a JavaScript XML. It's a kind of HTML, it's a syntax language. And with the help of JSX, we create the React element very easily without doing like React dot create element. But with the help of JSX, we do very easily. And in the JSX, we can import some JavaScript syntax also with the help of curly braces.
Okay. So do you know what is React hook?
Yeah, React hook is just a function only, but with and it's a in the reactjs hooks is a reactive variable whenever and like we are having one hook use state is kind of a reactive variable whenever we are doing some updating one button then our component will re-render and if the changes in the component it will commit to the DOM also.
Okay. So how many hooks we have? Can you please tell me name?
We have so many hooks. I remember use state, use effect, use memo, use fallback, and memo, use ref, and
So
use context,
so what is use memo?
use memo.
Yeah.
Yeah, use memo is used to optimize our high value. Like, let's say in a component we are having some kind of heavy calculation, and that component is rendering because of some props is changing and again, and that heavy calculation is happening also. But we want that heavy calculation run only once. And to optimize our child component we will use the use memo and that and use memo syntax of use memo is like same kind of use effect only. We will pass callback function and dependency array whenever that dependency is changing in that use memo, then only that heavy calculation will perform. First time it will perform like the use effect only.
Okay. So what is use effect? Why we need also when we use
It
use
is
effect?
used it is used to do some outside of the like the JavaScript, like when we want to fetch some data from the UI whenever when we want to like do some set timeout, set interval, we will do in that, and we use use effect also when let's say we have set some event handler on some tag and we want to whenever the child component that component removing from the DOM, then we are removing that event listener also from that DOM, then we will use the use effect. And the syntax of the use effect will be like the same only that we will pass some one fallback function and dependency array. When we are not passing the second argument, then it will call again and again whenever there is re-rendering. But when we pass this empty array, then it will run only one time. And when we pass some dependency, then the callback function will be run whenever the dependency variable like the variable will be the use state only, use state variable kind of the reactive variable. Whenever reactive variable is changing, then your callback function is running,
Okay, that's
executing.
great. That's a correct answer. Okay. So what is different between set timeout and set interval?
Yeah, set timeout, set interval is used to perform some block of code after some delay. In set timeout, that callback code will be run only after that particular time. Like I have set after 2 seconds, that code has to be run. But in the set interval, that only once time in the set timeout it will run. But in set interval, it will run again and again after 2 seconds, and we can clear the that set timeout, set interval also with the help of clear timeout and clear interval.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
So we have promises, right?
yeah.
So why we need async await if we have already promises?
Okay. Async and await. Whenever we are using the async keyword before the like function, then it will make sure it will return some promises. And await is used like we are writing await keyword in front of fetch API. then it will wait for that API to be resolved. Yeah, to be kind of, it may reject also. Then it will wait. Yeah, for that particular, when whatever that API is taking the time.
Okay.
We
So,
do asynchronous operation with the help of async and await keyword.
okay. Manisha, can you please open any online compiler, JavaScript online compiler?
Yes, JavaScript compiler.
Yeah.
I have opened.
And I have sent the question. Okay. Try to solve this question.
Okay. Uh, in the first execution of the for loop, it will print 3, 3 and 3. In the second, it will print uh, 0, 1, 2, yeah, 0, 1, 2.
Oh, why? Can you explain?
Yeah, in the first, na, it is happening where keyword we have used, and where keyword is kind of a function scope. And then we, let's see, where will be declared, like it will, the where keyword, like where variable will be uh, take memory only one time, like because it is a function scope. And in function, when it's a function scope, like where I is equal to 0, and the for loop will execute like in a like nanosecond, and where will update, like I will be update to 0, 1, then 2, then 3. After like 10 like 100 millisecond, that the set timeout start to execute. But that function is in the that fallback function is referencing to that I variable only. Only we are only having one variable in the memory. But in this case, what is happening now, that let we have used the let keyword to declare the j,
Yeah.
and j will be like the block scope. And I, like in the first execution of, like when I j is equal to 0, then j will create one script block in the memory. And when j is equal to like 1, then it will create again second script block. Yes, one second block scope. Then when j is equal to like 2, then it will create again block scope. And that this set timeout what is doing now, it is making some closure with the first, uh, yeah, it is making some closure with the first block, then second block, then third block. And whenever the time has been passed, like the scheduled time has been completed, then it will start executing. Then it will refresh to the like first block, then second block, and third block. That's why we are getting in the second fourth block, we are getting 0, 1, 2, and first we are getting only 3, 3, 3. Because it is also making the closure with the I variable, but due to the it's a function scope, the variable I will be like created only one time. It will update the
Okay.
same I. It
Okay.
will
Okay.
not create a different block.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
great, Manisha. Run the code.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I have sent another question. Okay.
Okay. Uh, it will print. They both are having the same, first this set timeout will register in the browser, then this set timeout register will in the browser. And
Okay.
and when time has been the scheduled time has been completed, they will come to the callback queue to be executed.
Okay.
And
So,
second,
which will be print first?
yeah,
First or second? Which will be first?
uh, I think second will print first, then first.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. How?
Uh, See, when control come to the disk set timeout, then it will register to the browser. It will register in the browser API, and I think first will print first, then second.
How?
Uh, how when this time has been completed, then it's that callback has started to execute. Then when it's starting to execute, it will print this line. Then we are having this set timeout. Then it will register again in the browser. Then this time has been completed, then it will come to that this callback function come into the callback queue to be executed. And call stack, whenever our call stack is like idle, then this callback started to execute. So first we are having first, then second.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Run the code. Okay.
Okay. The first it will print object because function is object only in the JavaScript. And second it will print what to say type of undefined type.
First one is
First one it will print object
okay.
because it's a function and the function is object only. And second it will print undefined because this arrow function is like arrow function, but it's a variable only. But because we are executing this arrow function before the declaration, and it will hoist this variable will hoist whenever when we execute this code now, then in JavaScript when we execute the code, the execution will happen in two phases. One is memory phase, second is execution phase. In memory phase, this function and where variable will be hoisted, they will hoist it. It will hoist
Okay.
also.
So, what would be the output in line number four?
Line number 4, we are not having anything to go.
No, no. I just want to know what will be the output in line number first.
First now it will print object.
Object.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because it is a function and function is object only in JavaScript. We are not having any kind of data type function.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. No problem. Run the code.
Uh, uh,
We have function. Okay. Why we use await?
okay. Await is used like before the await we are having promises. We are having promises to execute some asynchronous operation. In that we use some that new promise will return some promise. Then we are then dot then. It is used it is used like we are using the wait for handling the callback hell kind of things. Because in the new promises we have used the dot then. So we will be having we are having more kind of the code to execute some data. So we are using the wait to reduce some code in our to make our coding life easy.
Okay, Manisha. I have sent the another question. Okay. Solve this one.
This is infy, right? Ify.
Yeah.
will print 0, 1, 2.
How?
How? Because like the same I have already explained that where is a functional scope, and in this when I is equal to 0, this function is iffy, immediate invoke function. We are passing I, and we are passing to the like a function, and this I will be like as a it will create a new execution context for executing this function. And when I is equal to 0, it will execute like when I is equal to 0, it will create one execution context. When I is equal to 1, it will create new execution context, and when I is equal to 2, it will create new execution context. For every execution context, we are having different variable j, and it will print the different. It will print 0, 1, 2, 3. It will make closure also with the I is equal to 0, 1, and 2.
Okay. Run the code.
Yes, 0.
Okay. I have sent the another question. Okay. Last second question.
Timer constructor start.
Do you know what is this?
Yeah, this I know this.
Okay.
This will refer to the this object only. When our control is come into this line, then one object will created, and then this constructor. Whenever we are executing this line, then this construction function will call automatically. Then this dot seconds will assign to the 0. Then we are executing dot t dot start. So we are executing this function, set timeout. When 1 second has been passed, then this callback will execute. So this dot second plus second plus, so it will be 1. Yeah, it will print 1.
One. Why?
Yeah, this we are executing this when we are executing this line, then this code will execute. Set timeout will be registered with the timer with time and 1,000 seconds. Then it will execute. And this keyword will point to the this t only. And in the t we are having object with seconds, and it will point to the this object only, and will increase to 1.
Okay.
It
So
will print the
according to
this
you,
object
our
only.
output will be one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Run the code.
Well, and
Do you know what is NaN?
yeah, not a number. Maybe this value is not available in the memory, and it undefined plus plus. It will do some undefined, and then plus plus we are doing. It will print the name.
Okay. And why NaN is a output?
Maybe set time. It is not make. Maybe it is not making the closure with this second.
Okay. Leave it. I have sent another question to you. Okay.
Check. Okay. We are executing the grade. Then we are running this function, and then we are calling inner. Inner, then enable code, then set timeout, list of timeout. Okay. undefined.
Undefined. Uh, what will be the output, like complete output?
High undefined.
High undefined. And what if I need high tag? First run the code. Okay. Now I want high tag to print. What modification do I need to change in code?
I have to. I don't know.
You don't know. Do you know what is arrow function?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So
Yeah, yes, yes. Actually, in this function will make another this, but when we pass arrow function, that function will not having the this keyword. This, so it is referred to the this inner only, and this inner has the access to this object, and this will point to the this object only.
okay. So now
Now it
wait,
is
wait.
quite.
Okay. So why it is still undefined?
This is having and
We need to call. Okay. We need to use call in line number 9. Dot call. Okay. Bracket inside of this. Not like
we
that.
have
Not like this. Yeah. Yeah. Good. 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 Okay. So this is the one way. Okay. What is the another way to print high tech?
so we can make this inner function also a what to say callback function. Yeah, we
No.
can make inner function.
No. 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 Click Control Z. Reverse the code. Again. Click Control Z. Yeah. No. 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 Control Y. Control Y. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now what is the another way to print high tech? Previous one is the first one. Okay.
We are having call, apply, and bind.
Okay. So huge and try to print high tech.
Okay, I use the apply keyword. Now,
Okay. So this will print high tech, right?
yes.
Okay. That's great. Okay. So what is the difference between null and undefined?
Undefined is the default value has to be assigned when we declare any variable, and null is like we are forcefully assigning null to that variable because we are not having the value is to assign to any like that variable. They are the data type also null and undefined.
Okay. And what is event delegation in JavaScript?
Event delegation we use to accumulate the to say event handler on the child tag. Let's say we are we are having one UI tag, and in that we are having like five li tag. So list item. So one way is like we can add the different event handler to the every li. And second way is we can use the property like concept of JavaScript event delegation. We can attach, we can use one event handler, and that event handler will apply to the every li. So it will make our code is very concise, like accumulate our event handler events to every li.
Okay. And what is closure?
Okay, closure is a huh. When let's say we are having one function, and that function is that we are having one function. In that function we are having another function, and we are returning that function, and after that we are calling the return function. But that return the inside function is using some variable which is defined in the outer function. That outer for the that variable is using by the inside function. And when we are executing the returned function, it will refer to that variable. That variable will come to the closure block of that inside function.
Can you explain closure in code? Write down the code of the
Okay.
closure.
Yes. Let's say we are having and in that we are having one variable ABC. We are also going to ABC. We are returning so it will return the closure function, and we are calling this function, and it will print the hello, because this function is using the outer scope variable, and it will come to the inner function's closure scope, and that's why we are calling it as a closure.
Okay. Okay. So what is debounce and throttle?
Sorry, I didn't revise those two things.
Okay. Okay. No problem. So what is event loop in JavaScript?
Yeah, event loop. We know like JavaScript is a single-threaded language, and it will execute only one statement at a time. But browser providing some different powers to us to perform the asynchronous operation also. And let's say we are having one set timeout in our code, and that callback function will register. Well, let's say I'm telling the architecture of the event loop, and we in the architecture of event loop we are having call stack, event loop, and callback queue and micro task queue, and some web APIs also. And in that, whenever some callback happen is available in our code, that callback will registered in the callback queue. That event loop come into the picture, and that event loop will check the call stack and the micro task and the callback queue like continuously. Whenever the call stack is empty, then it will check the is any callback, yeah, some kind of priority task is available in the queues. It will execute. It will shift the that callback function to the code state.
Okay.
That's why we are getting we can execute the some asynchronous operation with the help of event loader.
Okay. So, do you know what is memory leak?
Memorization.
Memory leak, leak. Do you know memory leak?
Okay, memory leak.
Do you know or not?
No, actually I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, JavaScript will handle all in like internally only. We are not handling by code
Okay.
memorization. Yeah,
Okay. So, what is event bubbling?
event bubbling. Let's say we are having one like nested divs, and we have applied the event handler to every nested div, and we have applied the click event handler to every nested div, and then we click on the like inside div, then it will go to the that event handler will execute to the every div. First it will execute the innermost div, then second, then third, then like will go to the yeah. Innermost day, then second day, then third day, then fourth day. We are having capturing also. And in the event handling, event bubbling now, uh, we are adding some event handler. So like document dot get event element by tick. We are having element dot add event listener and click, and we are passing some callback function. And the third argument also we are having that by default the value will be the false, and it will behave as a event bubbling. When we pass as a true, it will behave it as a event capturing. Then in event capturing, it will go from like it will go to the from top to the like inside div. Yeah, please.
Okay. So, what is shallow copy and deep copy?
Yes. Shallow copy like we let's say we are having one object OBJ1, and we are assigning that object to the second object, and it will the object will create as a reference only, and that second object also point to the that first variable only. Whenever we are changing anything in the object one, it will reflect to the object two also, and it is a shallow copy.
Okay. So, how do you handle large form with a dynamic field in React?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Like we have form, okay,
Uh-huh.
and in that form we have large number of input, okay.
Uh-huh.
So how can you handle it?
Okay, we will use so you want me to say like we are even form element in that we are having many input element, and we want to like to send that every input data to the backend, and we have to add some event handler to the every input, right? So
Yeah,
we can use event delegation way there.
yeah, and I just want to know how to handle large number of input field.
First, no, I don't know.
Okay, no problem. So how do you debug a performance issue in React? Like sometime our React application got slow, right?
Mhm.
So how do you manage it? How do you debug and how do you improve the performance of React?
Okay, so for this we React has provided some tools, use callback to increase our performance of our React application, and we can use the lazy loading also. Lazy loading will help to load that particular component when that component has to be downloaded, like has to be come to the UI only, not when the like our application has been like come to that whole the whole way. So we are having some hooks to optimize our React.
Okay, so what is lazy loading?
Lazy loading is help to first it help to increase the performance of application, and
No, how lazy loading work?
Mhm.
How lazy loading work?
Actually I forgot the concept. I but I remember now we are having one use lazy keyword where that and we are in that callback we are passing some like import kind of statement and that statement will execute when our that parent component is loading is coming to the UI. Then only sorry I forget that concept.
Okay, no problem. So, what is the difference between opacity zero, visibility hidden, and display none in CSS? Okay,
Opacity hidden and display none.
opacity.
Opacity is like used for the visibility. Uh, when when we are giving the opacity is zero, that element will be invisible to us, but that element will be on the DOM. And when we applied the display none, uh, when we apply display none, then it will that element has removed from the DOM, and hidden none means I forgot.
So, you don't know about hidden.
Yeah, I remember, but the difference is closely to the display nine.
Okay, no problem. So, what is CSS variable?
Okay, CSS variable uh, used to like let's say we in our CS in our application we are having some like two or three colors. Uh, Only we have to apply on our whole app. So we are assigning that color to the variables CSS variable, and that variable we are using in our whole CSS file. So we are not assigning the value to the every properties like to every element. We are just assigning that variable. Whenever the color has in the future color value is changing, like so we can just changing the value only from on that variable. Will enhance our like coding performance.
Okay, so what is the difference between local storage, session storage, and cookies?
Okay. Local, I know the local. I have used the more local storage only. Local storage, its feature is given by the browser only, and we have some data. We have added some data in the local storage. Whenever we are when we are uh, when we are what to say we are going to the website again, the data will be stored in local storage, and when we can fetch the data also to show on the UI. The kind of we can say like the data is permanent data for our local for our computer only.
Okay, and session storage?
Session storage is like uh, let's say in the local storage when we what to say, shut down our laptop, the data will be retained. But in the session storage, when we shut down, yeah, like close the tab, the session storage data will be removed, and we have we have to do we have to perform some uh, input again to store the data in the our tab to store in the session.
So, which one is better, local storage or session storage?
Can you repeat?
What?
Can you repeat again?
Yeah. So, which one is the better, local storage or session storage?
It depends on the use cases. Mostly, the best feature will be the session storage only because it will like data.
Okay, let's suppose I have one application where I am trying to log in. Okay,
Mhm.
where I have one user. So where you will store that user data, Gmail ID and password in local storage or in session storage.
We will store in the local storage.
Okay. So if we store in local storage, the data is clearly visible, right?
Mhm.
So that is not a best practice, no?
Yeah, it will be not the best practice to store the data in the local storage.
Okay. So what is cookies?
Cookies, I don't know. I haven't learned about it.
Okay. No problem.
used to store the data only in our browser.